Miss Julia, you do dual immersion, right? Dual immersion teaching for what grade or what age range?
Yeah, so I teach fourth grade dual immersion, which means that I teach in both English and Spanish. The model that I teach is 50-50. So at our school in the morning, the first half of the day, instruction is in Spanish, and then the second half of the day, it's in English.
Do, is it? Do you ever get nervous? Because I know for me, I when I do Spanish and English instruction, sometimes I get nervous. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's one thing to know a language, it's another thing to like teach in the language. But I don't really get nervous in front of kids because they're like 9 or 10 years old. I think I was nervous the first day just because it was the first day of school.
Mhm.
But I mean, they are really accepting and they know that it's not my first language. So if anything, I'm more like role modeling how to learn and how to make mistakes and learn from your mistakes and showing that it's possible to learn another language, later
Yeah,
in life, not your first language.
yeah, I get you. Role model, yeah, like be a role model for like learning, humility, stuff like that. Yeah, I have a similar approach to that too because a lot of times, I'm like I'd rather step out of my comfort zone. I'd rather do something that's hard than hide it. You know what I mean? I don't want the children
Yeah.
to see that pattern of like hiding what they don't know, or perfectionism. Okay, so
Yeah, they
tell
know
me.
I'm not a perfectionist at all. And I think that kind of bothers them sometimes. I'm like, it's great just the way you did it. And they will like want it to be all perfect. I'm like, well, I don't, who said I wanted to be perfect? I never said perfect.
Yeah, some
Want it
students.
to be perfect? No.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
want them to learn and improve.
do you ever just like give them criticism just because they just to appease them?
Um, yeah, I'll ask them what, a clarifying like, okay, well, if you're not sure that something is the way it should be, think of a question that you can ask me and I answer it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think you have to help build their confidence so they're like, because I think that's where it comes from. They're not always super confident, but
Hmm.
yeah, I always tell them like, you're the role models of the school, you have the best behavior, and you are bilingual, so I try to build their confidence that way so they're like,
That's pretty
not
cool.
so afraid to make a mistake.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. Let them feel confidence. It's because I think that uncertainty is always going to be there anyways. And then, what was your linguistic environment growing up? Did you grow up in a bilingual, monolingual? What?
No, I grew up in totally monolingual English speaking house. um, yeah, no, everything was in English where I lived, at home, at school, at my grandparents' house. My grandparents spoke Armenian, but we didn't know what they were saying. So,
Did they want you to learn?
no, actually, my grandma was like totally against that when she immigrated to the U.S. She back in that time she thought that it was like learning or speaking more than one language, you know, in front of children would be confusing or like delay their learning. They didn't know what we know now, how beneficial it is to the brain to learn more than one language from a young age. She had no idea. And she wanted to assimilate as quickly as possible and make sure that her kids were safe and assimilated. So, yeah, she did not um, teach Armenian to my mom or uncle or send them to Armenian school like most Armenians do. And in fact, she went through a lot of like accent training to have an American accent. And her sister, who is her same age, didn't. So her sister has a really thick accent and she has almost no accent at all. It's really
So,
interesting.
so did your grandma achieve her goal of passing for a native English speaker?
Oh, totally. Totally. She actually knows 5 languages. She went to school
Whoa.
in Beirut and is fluent in Arabic, Turkish, French, English, and Armenian.
Wow.
So she passed on her monolingual or whatever, multilingualism, not monolingualism, down to me, and that I wanted to learn other languages, but
Right.
she didn't teach
What?
us anything directly.
Wow. Okay.